his belief that Kavanaugh will make it onto the Supreme Court. For more, let's bring in member of the Donald Trump for President Advisory Board and author of Mad Politics, Dr. Gina Loudon. Dr. Loudon, I know you were at the White House on Friday. Good to have you on. You were at the White House on Friday. What's the mood there?
You know, I think that they are prouder than ever of having someone like Brett Kavanaugh as a nominee. And I think they are even more committed, if that's even possible, to making sure that the truth ultimately is told and that the what they're hearing from the American people is finalized. You know, America wants this nominee, and the president is to be commended for having stood strong alongside this nominee and having found him in the first place, because this is a man that we know that for decades and decades of his life, there is not one single account of anyone who can say anything bad about this man. And yet we watch, you know, standing by as sort of cowardice, really, and politicization has led to the destruction of what I said, by all accounts, for decades, a man who's been exemplary.
It does seem that this week shot a lot of holes in the presumption of innocence in this country.
And I think that's scary. And I don't think America wants that. You know, I think, John, that this whole experience means something really different to the heartland of America, where I'm from, Missouri, for example. I think that, you know, on the coast we watch this and we kind of get in our bubble. But I think that when you look at the way women are responding to this, you know, they see a woman being exploited for political purposes. Men see a man being exploited for political purposes. Rape victims see the issue of rape being conflated with something that was a repressed memory, maybe in high school. We're not sure where. We don't know a location. And this poor woman, and they see rape being conflated into whatever this was. I just don't think this is a pretty moment in our history, and I hope we can find some way to go ahead and confirm Judge Kavanaugh and get on with the business of being Americans and enjoying the freedoms that are guaranteed to us, like innocent until proven guilty, which is you know, really a pillar of what is American.
But as you well know, there are a lot of people out there. I mean, Senator Whitehouse of Rhode Island said that he believes Christine Blasey Ford in her testimony. There are a lot of people out there who, it seems, are not going to be satisfied if the FBI doesn't somehow come up with some negative.
Which is really ironic, John, if you think about it. So now they want the president to control what the FBI does, but before they didn't. There's some real irony at hand here. But let me say this. I think you can both believe her and believe that she believes what she says she believes, and know that it's absolutely not true. Like I said, by all accounts, this man has a flawless character for decades upon decades. And I've dealt with this for a long time. My background, as you know, is in mental health. And I understand that repressed memories can be very vivid and very real to the people who encounter them, much like a dream can seem very real when you wake up from it. You can spend the whole day angry at somebody who didn't do anything except in your dream. But that doesn't, so just because she believes what she believes, and we can take her at her word for that, does not mean that this happened. We have zero evidence, John, and it's very important that we maintain the rule of law here.
The president seems to be absolutely standing behind Judge Kavanaugh during all of this.
He is, and he is to be so commended for standing so strongly and still being deferential to the role of the Senate and what they want to do in this, and letting the process play out. He's been extraordinarily presidential. And you know, you'd think the media, I don't mean you, but I mean other media, would be commending him for this, because haven't they always said, oh, this president needs to be more presidential? Well, where are they now talking about how presidential this president is being through this whole thing?
And what does this do to people who might be called to public service in the future? I mean, I wouldn't want to be nominated for the Supreme Court, not that I even possess a law degree, but given what has just transpired in the last week, I mean, some of the topics that were brought up in the sanctity of a Senate hearing was pretty appalling.
chilling effect, John, completely chilling. And that perhaps is one of the scariest things. As I've been around, promoting my book and whatever, like you said at the beginning of this segment, I've been talking to people, and I've had so many people come up to me and say, you know what, I'd always thought about running for political office, but I don't know if I want to now. And I'm talking about Democrats and Republicans. I think we can agree, John, that we don't want this to be politicized. We don't want issues like rape to be politicized. We don't want women to be exploited for politicization. And we certainly don't want our future office holders and our future Supreme Court nominees to go through this sort of scrutiny going back decades and decades with what came from a regressive therapy session, which has been largely questioned by most all credible mental health experts. I don't know that we really want to go where we've gone with this, but now that we've gone here, I hope that we can come together, go back to innocent until proven guilty, and take the fact that this man, by all standards, has been exemplary throughout his life for decades. He needs to be confirmed, and he needs to be confirmed now. And we need our Republican senators to stand with Judge Kavanaugh and the rest of America, by the way, who, let's not forget, elected an imperfect president who's done a darn fine job, and much of the country loves this president and stands behind this nominee.
Dr. Gina Loudon is a member of the Trump Presidential Advisory Board. We thank you very much for being here.
Honor to be with you. Thank you.